came to Arkansas to play in games like we got right now. Full house, national TV.
Michael Washington, 53 yards.
You were born to do that. You trained to do it.
It's a love for one another. That's who we are. A wild band of Razorbacks.
Hey Razorback fans, and welcome into another edition of our Woo Pig pregame show here on Hogs Plus. I am Tera Talmadge, and we've got Quinn Grovey with me as always to talk about this matchup with Texas A&M. Q, I guess we're not calling it the Southwest Classic anymore.
No, and that's a good thing. Though I will say that the game in Dallas really did serve its purpose, and I think it was really cool when A&M was not in the league, but now they're in the league. Yeah, it's campus time. It's home and home, and that's what you got to do.
Well, it was fun going to Jerry World, but I am really happy to have this game here. We didn't have the best record against Texas A&M in recent history. I think they've won 12 of the last 13. However, here in Fayetteville, Arkansas has won 12, and they're 12-7 against Texas A&M. So I'll take it. That home field advantage definitely plays a factor into this one, Q.
Well, it makes a difference, especially when you talk about, if you go all the way back, I mean, you talk about conference games and those types of things. And so I think the fans will be excited about having Texas A&M here. It'll be fun. It'll be really, really great. And I think that they will help this football team really compete. I mean, when you're in Dallas, I mean, it's like a neutral site. It's 50-50. But here it's going to be Razorbacks. We'll have some A&M fans here, and we'll have the band here and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it comes down to Arkansas being at home, and we play a whole lot better at home.
Well, it's a big-time matchup. Texas A&M has been rolling lately, and the guys have been working hard, getting ready for this matchup. We had the chance to talk with Arkansas receiver Raylan Sharp earlier this week on the Razorback Daily. Here's what he had to say about the matchup.
Man, we just can't beat ourselves like we have the last few weeks, man. You know, the other day we talked about our third quarter. You know, we have to be better in the third quarter. We have to score. We have to be able to do that. Defense played a great game last week, but we didn't score enough. So they got a great back end. They have a great D-line, smart linebacker. I believe he's number 21. You know, but at the same time, we just got to know it's mano a mano and play our game. You know, we can't really worry about too much who's on the other side. You know, we got to do our part and, be technically sound and just play the game of football and keep making explosive plays and get in the end zone.
Well, as Raylan said there, they got to stop beating themselves in some of these games. So I know they've been working hard. One thing that they've emphasized this week is actually third down conversions, because Texas A&M in 3 SEC games has only allowed 2 out of 33. Absolutely impressive. And I know Arkansas's run game is going to be big. You've talked about it a lot this week, and their 2-back set that they're going with.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2-back set will be really critical, but the third down thing is really big because Arkansas is really good at converting third downs. And the way you convert third downs is you do good on first down, you do good on second down. And that puts you in third and short. So that's where Arkansas really wants to be. A&M, it focuses in on getting you behind the sticks right off the bat. If they can get you behind the sticks, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13, that's going to allow them to really tee off on you on third down and give you a bunch of looks. So with that, I mean, I just think that this Arkansas offense has got to be really, really tuned in the run game. The 2-back set is going to help in a big way. Arkansas's run game is very, very physical with Mike Washington. You start there. And then you get to Taylor Green. You put him in the run game as well. And then you go to the 2-back set. You put Braylon Russell as well as Mike Washington and Taylor Green. Now you got some triple option principles that can force them to play responsibility football instead of just teeing off. And so I think that will slow them down just a little bit. I think you're going to see a whole lot more option than we've seen in the past. And I think this will slow down Texas A&M's defensive front and allow Arkansas to have more success on first down. So look for more passes on first down, short passes, screens, all that kind of stuff, and look for Taylor running the football more on first down to really try to get ahead of the sticks.
Well, speaking of the run game, on the other side of the field, Texas A&M is going to be without their starting running back, Le'Veon Moss. Q, that's big time for them.
Well, it is. I mean, this is a guy that averages a lot of yards per carry. I mean, he is going to run downhill between the A gap and the B gap. And that's what Colin Klein, the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M, wants to do. He wants to hit you between the tackles and then allow Marcel Reed to run to the outside. And so Le'Veon Moss being out of the game, I think, is really, really important. They've got other guys that are really good, but they're not Le'Veon Moss. And so Arkansas has been solid versus the run game this season. And so if they can find a way to come up with some plays, just tackle well, I mean, I think they can put Texas A&M in a bad spot from a run game perspective. I say, I mean, we're going to talk about the keys, but if they can keep Texas A&M under 150 yards, I think that gives you a chance to be in a good position.
Yeah. Well, we talked with Andrew Monaco earlier this week, who is the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. Here's what he had to say about Moss being out for this game.
This is what always gets me about Le'Veon, and fair or unfair, I do this anyway. Every 100-yard rushing game for Le'Veon is against SEC opponents. It's one thing to put up numbers in your non-conference. It's another to do it in the SEC. And Le'Veon and his yards after contact are big. And what Le'Veon brings you is, I want to say this year, one rush, one negative play, and I could be wrong. I think all of last year, 2 negative plays. So it was either no gain or positive gain for him. Now, Ruben can do that also. And you really missed Ruben, and not a shot at Amari Daniels last year or E.J. Smith last year. Ruben is similar to Le'Veon in that yards after contact and can run between the tackles, but he's slightly bigger. I think it's a loss, but Mike will not allow this to hang over this team. It's very much the next man up mentality.
A really great breakdown from Andrew Monaco is over on the Razorback Daily. He goes so in depth on what the Hogs can expect from this matchup. Quinn, what do you think about Texas A&M? Because they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're the number 4 team in the country, and when we do our pick'ems every week, I've tried to diss Texas A&M in a lot of different ways, and I said I'm never going to go against them, but I'm going against them this week.
All right.
Because it's my Razorbacks, but they pose a whole lot of problems. I mean, first of all, you talk about offensively, they have an offensive line named the Maroon Goons. I mean, so when you talk about big guys that are really, really physical and dynamic, their offensive line is really, really good. Okay. They run the football at a high clip. They run it in a different way, a couple of different ways. They run it with the running back on the A gap, B gap, and then they're going to hit Marcel Reed.
Yep.
And then they want to hit you with a lot of play action. So they're very, very tough to deal with. Colin Klein wants to make sure you guard every blade of grass. And so that's a concern. There's no doubt about that. So Arkansas's just got to find a way to cut off the run game, and if they can keep them under 200 yards, I think you're in a good spot. Yeah. But defensively, they get after you with the front 4. And Jay Bateman, who's their defensive coordinator, he's going to give you a lot of simulated looks. But the front 4 is really, really they're really nasty, and so they can get after you in a big-time way. And they'll bring a lot of pressure, show a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. So Taylor's going to have to make great decisions with what they do, but they have great integrity on the back end when they play with the secondary. So you just got to make sure you're in the right spots. And so Taylor's going to have to make great decisions. And we talked about first downs. You got to find a way to make hay on first downs. But other than that, Texas A&M is a tough team. Yep. But I will say, I don't care how you slice it or dice it, Arkansas and Texas A&M, Arkansas, LSU, whatever, it's always going to be a tight game. Yep. Vegas says it's going to be like 7 points. And
I saw that.
It shouldn't be that way, according to a lot of people. But when you talk about 7 points at Razorback Stadium, I believe the fan base in this stadium is worth 7 points.
Absolutely. And plus you add in the fact that Petrino is familiar with some of the guys on that Texas A&M offense as well.
That's true.
He talked a little bit about it earlier this week. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, they still have good speed on the defensive front. The ends are guys that can really rush the passer and come off. We played against a couple of them last year. One of them changed his number. He looks faster now, being in a single digit, and has had a really good year. So we gotta make sure we have a way to take care of him. Last year they had 3 D linemen that were very, very high draft picks, and they look like they replaced them. So they do a nice job of recruiting there on their defensive front. The offensive front, a lot of those guys are guys that played for me when I was there. They were able to have really good retention, and they're going to have good size and good experience. So we're going to have to do a good job of making sure that we are firm up front, and our linebackers do a good job of fitting the runs. Marcel, I know well. He is in the meeting room with me every single day, his redshirt year, and he's got tremendous quickness, tremendous speed. He's kind of a playmaker, not your normal just drop back, stay in the pocket and throw the ball. He moves around, makes plays. He can buy time and make plays, and that's a scary part of it, is when he moves around and keeps his eyes downfield. We're going to have to really work on plastering our man and staying with our man and not coming off who we have because we see him moving, and that'll be a point of emphasis for us defensively this week for sure. We just got to try to keep him in the pocket, try to collapse the pocket, and not give him room. And if you cannot give him room, then you got an opportunity.
Well, as you heard there, he's coached a lot of the guys on that Texas A&M offense, including quarterback Marcel Reed. So who knows? Maybe that could give Arkansas a little bit of an edge in this one.
Well, I think, when you talk about being a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator, you know what your quarterback likes.
Yep.
And you know what your quarterback he doesn't. Like. And so I just think that Bobby Petrino knows that, like, when he was at Texas A&M, if Marcel Reed was the quarterback, he knows that we don't want this. We don't want this pressure. We don't want front side pressure. We don't want backside pressure. We don't want him to be put in this situation. We don't want to be in third and long. Bobby Petrino is going to try to put him in every one of those situations. And so if that happens, then that's going to be advantage to Arkansas. So because he understands exactly what Marcel Reed struggles with. Now, on the flip side of that, Marcel Reed has gotten better and better and better. And so we'll see how he deals with some of that stuff. But again, I think Bobby Petrino has an advantage understanding what Marcel Reed likes and doesn't like. And he understands what that defensive, the defensive guys like and don't like. Yep. So I'm really cool with that. I think Bobby Petrino will have a great scheme, a great plan, simply because he has more information than most people would going into this football game.
Yeah, we'll see if we can make Marcel Reed a little bit uncomfortable in this one. But Q, let's get to your keys to the game.
Well, I think defensively, it comes down to, for Arkansas, it comes down to finding a way to stop the run. I mean, I'm not going to say stop the run, because stopping the run is really going to be a tough thing to do with what A&M does. But you got to find a way to keep them under 150 yards. And I think between the running backs and Marcel Reed, if you can keep them under 150 yards, that gives you a great opportunity to get a stop, get a turnover. You got to find a way to get a turnover and get the football back to this offense. And so if you can do that, that will help you out. But then offensively, when they give you that stop, when they give you that turnover, you got to find a way to score points. In the third quarter last week versus Tennessee, we had several stops. We didn't take advantage of it. And so they've got to do that in a big-time way. But then it's going to come down, for me, for offense, you got to find a way to win on first down. If you win on first down, that gives you an opportunity to be very good on third down. A&M is one of the best teams in the country and get you off the field on third down. So that's going to be a critical point in regards to what happens with this football game, because if Arkansas can't sustain drives, then it's going to be a tough road to hoe. So Taylor Green, get your legs ready.
Yep.
Braylon Russell, Mike Washington, get your legs ready. Omega Blake, we're going to need all y'all, because it's going to be a big-time game. And I think in the friendly confines of Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, you always have an opportunity to win a football game.
Plus, you're going to have Darren McFadden in the stadium
and
as well.
Can we suit him up? I want to suit him up. Let's get 5 in the game. We get 5 on it. Yeah, boy, you've been a good spot. But that's a great opportunity to recognize the GOAT.
Yep.
Give him an opportunity. I hope it just don't rain.
I know. I hope it holds off a little bit.
It's going to rain. It's going to rain. I just hope the thunderstorms don't have a long delay.
Well, everyone, bring your rain gear. Get ready for a good game. Arkansas and Texas A&M. It's going to be a great one. You can watch it at 2:30 on ESPN. But for Quinn Grovey, I'm Tera Talmadge. Everyone, thank you so much for watching our Wooo Pig pregame show. We'll be back here next week.